it's a really so it's a really unique campus. And it's the largest integrated bioprocessing campus in the country, up in Blair. So we have um, that biomanufacturing, bioindustrial sector. We've got pharmaceutical with Merck and Phibro and animal vaccines. We don't have any pharmaceutical as far as human products, agricultural. We have Syngenta, food and fermentation. We've been working with a couple of companies. Lala, if anybody has not had a Lala product, it's a Mexican yogurt company. They're amazing. And so I'm putting my plug in for them. And then we have a Smithfield facility next to one of our campuses that makes fermented meats, chorizo, pepperoni, and salami. Medical research labs, we've got the University of Nebraska Medical Center and Boys Town National Research Hospital, and then medical device company that we work with is Streck. So we have a really varied landscape, as you can see, of biotech companies, and saw the need for a training, definitely a training to meet those workforce needs, but then a training that would provide a really good foundation and not just be, pharma oriented or medical oriented, but would prepare people to go into any of our companies. And so some of the pain points that we picked up on the right here, some of our companies are spending, well, a couple up to 3 years training new hires before they can work independently, especially with um, uh, a 300,000 gallon bioreactor up on the Cargill campus with process control skills needed. There's a lot of turnover, and just not finding enough trained workforce. They've had to lower their degree requirements in order to just get people to work. And so that's where we were coming from with developing the program, and then also uh, the grant proposal. And so we have been told by our college that we are a template for new program development. And it's so this is a pretty good overview of the template going from youth camps. And right now we're down to middle school, hopefully going to elementary in the future, all the way to an associate and transfer. And so this relates to that first slide I showed with all the people at the college who are on our major biotech project team, because we're really wanting to avoid silos being formed. And so all of these steps, all of the initiatives going into these are focused on the same program goals across. And so we've, as many of you know, awareness is one of the biggest obstacles with uh, getting people to know about biotech, getting to helping them know what local companies even do if they don't know they're there. And so we wanted to reach down pretty far to develop some youth initiatives, um, creating a high school academy, having some non-credit workforce training, and then our credit program, which I'll go into here, that leads to transfer as well. So that is definitely probably more to bite off or to chew at once, but that is what we are going for as an end goal. So our grant proposal project has three main objectives. One is, of course, the program itself, the training program with the curriculum. Two is faculty development piece, and then three is awareness and recruitment. Uh, Again, with that staircase and with the program overall, it's beyond what the grant proposal is focused on, but the grant proposal is focused on a good chunk of it as well. And so we've got the new courses and we wanted to make them stackable, of course, uh, and then coordinating internships and sponsorships, implementing the built model, and then equipping the new biotech labs under this objective. And so I'll talk a little bit more about those. Um, the faculty development, I don't have any prior like formal biotechnology training. I have worked in biology for a long time. So the the manufacturing part of it, the biomanufacturing part with um, the bioreactors and some of the other technical training needed. Um, I have worked on learning a lot, and there are people on this call that I've learned a lot from as well. And so thank you for that. But that's continuing. So that was a piece that we built into the um, proposal as well. Our local companies have been really, really good with that as well. Awareness and recruitment, developing an outreach strategy, use summer camps. We're planning a teacher academy in the future, and then organizing on-campus recruiting events. And so our award is for $770,663, and that's runs from September 25 to September 28 on that. And so our credit program, we have a career certificate that you can finish in 3 quarters. Um, and so I was limited on the credits, obviously, that could go into that. And so the three core and these stars are our new courses. The three core biotech classes, along with biology one and microbiology, make that up. And I won't spend a ton of time on this, but it just gives you an idea of our entry certificate of the time frame. We are on quarters, we're not on semesters. I was telling Dion and a couple others before everybody got on that we just started our spring quarter beginning of March. So as you guys are getting ready for spring break, have fun because we don't have a break coming up. So this is our career certificate. And then certificate of achievement is basically those courses, but we're adding some gen eds. Here they get to choose an elective. I had developed about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, with one of our local companies, Strack, a hematology class. So it's a hematology for biotech class. They can also choose genetics, or they can choose an internship with this as well. And then our full associate degree with the goal of transfer brings in another new biotech class, molecular biology techniques. So this is geared towards those that want to go on and has skills that are going to prepare them for that as well. We get their second chemistry and second biology class for transfer, bring in some more math. If you have questions about that, you can ask later. And so the new courses, and I had looked at the curriculum that is available and out there, but it didn't completely align with what our industry partners were telling us that entry-level technicians needed. And so it's more fermentation based with the basics, of course, in the foundations class. And then at the end of that, getting into bacterial fermentation, prepping them for the biomanufacturing class where they'll use bioreactors and focus on the upstream and downstream processing. Our quality assurance class has a lab component as well. And so then the molecular biology techniques class, they'll get these benchwork skills also. So technically there are 5 new courses. The internship is the fifth one. Well, I guess if you count the hematology class, there are 6, but we won't call it 6. The built model has been very, very valuable for us. It's been key for nailing down what, if you're not familiar with the phrase KSAs, the knowledge, skills, and abilities, and there's KSA right there, knowledge, skills, and abilities that our industry partners are telling us that they would like to see in the entry-level technician applicants for those jobs. And so we really wanted to be true to our industry partners and align the training with that. And so the built team members are listed here. These are local companies and also BioNebraska. So we completed year 1 of the built model cycle last year. So the KSAs were knowledge and skills, technical skills. This year's KSA development will focus on soft skills that our industries are going to rank. If you're familiar with the build cycle, they'll rank them from 1 to 4. And then we can have a better idea of which ones to focus more on from what they are seeing as well. So this built team will transfer or transition into our advisory council in year 3. Um, I lead the built or co-lead the built with one of our industry partners from Evonik. And then our coach is actually from Waco, Texas. There's some Texas people on the call as well here, Hope Cotner. So that's been a hugely valuable process. If you haven't um, used the built, I strongly suggest that for anyone who's developing or reshaping their curriculum. Part of the grant proposal also talks about internships and sponsorships. A majority of our industry partners offer paid internships already. And so we've already met this. We're working on creating some that aren't in the summer to give our students more opportunities. And then we're working on sponsorships as well, setting those up with our major industry partners. So as far as year 1 progress, we are right in the middle of year 1. So the course outlines and all the course program paperwork submitted. I had no idea before I started this how much was involved with starting a program at a college. This will be the first program in our math and science department at our college. So it's paving the way, I guess, for that. We had also written in our grant proposal the desire to hire a new instructor. So we were able to do that, and that's Ashley Cunningham. Hired 1 week before the fall quarter started. I'm sure a lot of you can understand what that's like with yeah, starting trying to keep your head above water. So she has worked in industry and quality assurance for many years. So she's developing our quality assurance course. And so, like I said, the KSAs from our built are directly driving our curriculum alignment. And all our industry partners have been so good and just great to work with. So our credit program is set to open this fall. Um, our fall quarter starts the day after Labor Day this year, and so part of that reasoning behind starting the program this fall is that that's when our lab construction should be finished. So it should be finished end of June. So that brings me to the second part of Objective 1 in our grant. So our design was finalized last April and then went out to bid. Construction began last June. Target completion, they told me Tuesday, so it's recent, that it's still on track to be the end of June when that is finished. It's at our Elkhorn Valley campus. We've already ordered a majority of the equipment. It's been delivered, and so it's being stored right now. Hope to hire a lab coordinator soon for that to help um, plan the move-in, amongst other things as well. We've been so fortunate and gotten a significant amount of donations of equipment and supplies from these partners here as well. Boys Town National Research Hospital, Neogen, Lycor, Evonik, ADS Biotech, and Zoetis. The Objective 2 faculty training has been ongoing. I've been able to job shadow at several of our companies. Again, our partners have been just outstanding with that. Outreach and recruiting, we just had a major recruiting event, Biotech Day, on Tuesday. We're working on developing our webpage that should go live in May when the catalog opens for the fall. Our summer camps that we've developed are heading into their third and fourth year now. And we had worked with our um, oh, I can't remember the name of the department, but they collect data at the college. And so we worked with them on gathering some data from these populations as well. We've started to have some local media coverage, starting with our grant press release, local TV stations. We were just on another this week. We were in the Omaha World Herald this week. Local business magazines were speaking at, whoop, I see I I misspelled our state. And so on April 16th, we'll do that. So we're getting a lot of outreach and out there. So these are just some pictures from our recruiting event Tuesday. We had 7 of our industry partners come to participate in that. Um, And here's Jim in the bottom right. He's the co-leader of our built team. We were able to give students tours of the lab, and you can see it's under construction. Drywall is going up this week, so some of the drywall's on, some of it's not. So that's super exciting. And some challenges and lessons learned. The lab coordinator position in our grant proposal, we had put an ideal time of January 2026. We're still waiting on a college to post that position, so hopefully that'll happen soon so that they can help with that. And then this is where I put a blanket invitation to anyone who wants to come to Nebraska in July. It will be probably pretty hot. But yeah, you can help us move in if you'd like. The co-PI transition. So our biology department chair, Lance Johnson, was the original co-PI, but then had to transition out of that. And so in addition to hiring Ashley a week before the quarter started this fall, she also is our co-PI on the grant. And so I've had release time and I will through the lab launch this fall. And so that's been really important too. Another challenge is building curriculum that aligns with the companies we have and the jobs that our students would get. Again, I already talked about my limited biotech background prior to this, bioindustrial, primarily lack of that. And then it's a large project overall. And the distributed whole team structure is meant to prevent silos from forming single points of failure. So there's a lot of balls in the air. There's a lot of people involved, but the support from the college and from our project team has been really incredible. And so just what's next, real quick, recruiting and outreach, full steam ahead, curriculum finalization. Hopefully that lab coordinator gets on pretty soon. Planning to work on planning for moving in, setting everything up. Next month or two, I'll start planning the Career Academy. Summer lab construction complete, equipment in. This is all fingers crossed. We've got our summer camps to continue this summer. Fall, we launch the credit program. And then year two, the Career Academy for the high school students. The molecular biotechniques is a second year class, so that'll go. And then we are planning from our grant proposal a third camp that's in between the two camps that we have. And thank you for listening. That was, I think, a quick and dirty overview of our grant proposal. So I don't know if we take questions now or if we're waiting until the end.
Thank you, Jacqueline. No, we're waiting until the end, but I can already see that there are a lot of questions in the chat, and we'll
Yeah.
address those after our next presenters. And again, thank you, Jacqueline. And I know you had a lot of your team members from MCC.
Oh, and I
Our
see
second,
Ashley's on too. Sorry.
oh yes,
So
yes,
I see Ashley.
I saw
Awesome.
Ashley jump on, and you said that she was a little bit under the weather, so I didn't know if you wanted her to speak right now or at the end.
Ashley, if you wanted to just say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Cunningham, like Jackie said, just a recent person into education. So this is a whole new world for me. But with that, it comes a lot of experience with industry. And so I bring with me tons of quality experience in multiple different industries. So hopefully I can integrate that into our coursework that we're developing. The plan is to get people ready for their day one experience, especially in a quality system, because quality is something that people have to absorb over a lifetime, and so we're trying to give them a head start, which is awesome. So, thank you everybody for being here, and Jackie for promoting our wonderful new program.
Thank you both, Jacqueline and Ashley, and again, your team from MCC. We'll now move to our second Project Talk speakers, Rebecca Bowers-Gentry, Shawn Hurley, and Kimberly Teston-Fierro. This ATE project builds a dynamic pipeline into biotechnology careers by blending early exposure, immersive lab experiences, and strong recruitment strategies that guide students from high school to college success. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having us. Let me share my screen. I hope you're seeing the right screen. Thanks for having us today. I'm Becca Bowers-Gentry at San Diego Miramar College, and I'll get us kicked off. Our NSF just started. We are in kind of year one of this process, and you'll see kind of a combination of what we've done in the past on other work, and then how that connects to the work that we really put in proposed here. My partners in crime are Shawn Hurley, Kim Teston-Fierro, Tracy Milani, who isn't able to join us today, Heather Holmes, who's our grants manager, and she's on, and Linda Woods, who's our dean. So thanks for having us. We start with the why in biotech, and why in San Diego. San Diego has approximately 2,000 life science establishments. Average year salary is fairly strong. We see across San Diego educational pathways include no high school all the way up to advanced degrees. That community college fits in that space fairly heavily, and that we see a large share of the industry in San Diego that is related directly to our biotech life sciences world, including biopharma, biotech, food and ag, research and testing, med device, and scientific tools. One thing that I think it's really always important is to connect to why we do what we do. And our industry is strong in San Diego. Even in the downturn of specific industries, San Diego stays fairly strong in our requirements for this employment in this industry. And then just always a reminder that what does industry want to see? They want to see demonstrated competencies and skills. So how do we create those pipelines, and how do we get students from lower levels up into the college level? And we'll describe that today. Biotech Beach is what we call our hub in Southern California, and it ranges essentially from San Diego kind of into the lower LA and LA areas, and that includes a lot of industry, different types of industry, small industry, small startups, all the way through big industry and manufacturing. And so there's a lot of different opportunities here in San Diego, and different industry types and different training types here. So one of the intentions for our NSF was to create really a directed pipeline for our feeder schools. And we used and connected with Baybeck and Austin Community College when we were kind of getting ready to do this based on the work that they have done. And we really wanted to create a pipeline of specific activities to Miramar College into the associate's degree and the certificate of achievement, where we do our training at Miramar College for those skills. And some of this work had been kind of accomplished, but we wanted to make sure that we were creating really specific directed activities into our program and bridging that to Miramar College. And then how do we then also connect them to next places and community colleges? So we're going to talk a little bit, we'll stepwise go through this today. We're going to start on the right side, actually, what we do here at Miramar College, and then come back and go straight through the pipeline with Shawn and Kim presenting different of our activities. So they're all related to how do we bring students onto our campus and provide them directional activities and intentional activities. So Shawn, I'll hand it to you for a minute.
Thanks, Becca. Good morning, everyone. Just a little bit about our program. As you can see here, we have 3 core courses that are offered that are part of both our Certificate of Achievement as well as the Associate's degree. That is our 131, 132, and 133. In a nutshell, the 131 is our introduction to the biotech lab. So this gives them a familiarity. They can come from wherever in terms of their prior education. They usually take this in a variety of circumstance where they could be taking just a simple biology class introductory level and fulfilling a non-majors requirement for their science, but then they find, oh, I have an aptitude for biotech, and it draws them in. And it's really great because they get 50 hours of hands-on training. It's a hybridized model of class, so we have an online lecture and a physical on-campus in-person lab. They meet once a week. We have 3 hours every week, and we get them acclimated with the basics. So micropipetting, spectrophotometry, standard curve analysis, electrophoresis, PCR, etc. Really just whets their appetite and gets them interested. Then we have the 132 class that is the Applied Biotech 1. So as we kind of shift gears now, we get less in terms of the formal instruction and now into most of the time spent in the lab. So they meet twice a week. It's in the evenings, and again, over 130 hours of now technical lab training, hands-on skills, where they get more exposure to the core and the foundational methodologies like PCR, immunology-based techniques, bacterial culture, DNA extraction and analysis, and then also kind of an introduction to a little bit of touching on biomanufacturing and quality in there as well. And then finishing out with our capstone course, 133, Applied Biotech 2. Again, they get even more hands-on training, meets twice a week in the evenings. And we have advanced techniques where they really get into doing things in kind of a progressive manner. So project-based learning, not exactly, but again, taking it from our DNA unit into our protein unit, and also giving them what is unique, not seen often, mammalian cell culture. So, really, really great courses. And with those three, our certificate of achievement is awarded to the students, makes them more competitive for applying within the community here for industry. And through our partnerships, I know our partners really value that, and they comment regularly that we regularly produce very strong students. And then our 136, which is an all online course dedicated to quality. Then as those are also part of the associate's degree, if you can do the next slide, we take just a few additional courses in chemistry, in computer science, Excel, and comms, oral communication. And so, within about 1.5 to 2 year time frame, they're looking at an associate's, and in our pipeline, this has been wonderful. It sets us up and gives us an opportunity to impact the industry community very readily.
Thanks, Shawn.
Thanks.
So that talks a little bit about our program internally. And then we want to go all the way to the left of this slide and say, okay, so how do we get students here? What are we doing to intentionally recruit and provide meaningful experiences throughout their high school career and bringing them to Miramar College? And so I'm going to turn it over to Kim. She's going to talk a little bit about our first set of activities.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Teston-Fierro. I am the high school liaison for this project. Our very first major activity for this grant is next Saturday, not a week from tomorrow. It is a Biotech Family Day. It's a 3-hour event, and it is open to basically families and all ages to come here to Miramar, and we will talk about what the biotech field is, our opportunities here at the college. We have activities for elementary, middle school, and high schoolers because they're all going to be here. What we found is that a lot of the early exposure is really heavily influenced by parents. That's why we wanted to make this a family day. And then these students from all ages are really hungry for hands-on activities just to just really showcase how science is fun. And that's why we will have a lot of hands-on activities during this day. And then we have alumni presentations from students who went through the high school program, through Miramar program, and now they are in industry having internships. And we will also have our current student hourly workers who have gone through the high school pipeline and already working here at Miramar, and they will make presentations as well. Next slide, Becca. And so basically, when we will have our labs next week, we're going to be separating the elementary school students. They're basically going to be doing DNA isolation, possibly pipette art, which is basically just practicing micropipettes, making patterns on ELISA plates. And we will have the high school students in another lab doing gel electrophoresis. We will have food, we will have information, we will just have fun, and it will be good. Our goal was 50 students, and as of this morning with our sign up, we're way over that. We're hovering over 100. So this will be really a fun event. Next slide, please. Okay, and so another project that we have and another entry point is to reach the 9th and 10th grade classes by our teachers. And we have a curriculum package. We will reach out to 9th and 10th grade teachers. We will have lab training this coming summer with the lab curriculum supporting early high school biology teachers based on their high school biology standards. And then in conjunction with that, we will also have some resources for them in terms of what biotech is as a field, careers, and our pathway program from high school to Miramar. And we have $300 stipends budgeted for 10 implementing teachers at the feeder high schools that we have. And so that's going to be happening this coming summer, and we will share more information as we form this activity, and we will share it with your website as well. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. So that's our first set of activities. Our second set of activities rely upon our connectedness to the 11th grade biotechnology and medical interventions classes that we've provided loaner lab kits to historically. These are essentially free training curriculum and kits that teach everything from electrophoresis, cloning, PCR, into ELISA, lab safety, and then we have a few other things coming on board as we move along. So this is one of those spaces that we really needed to solidify funding for to ensure that our feeder schools had access to our hands-on kit curriculum for a good period of time. So this has been a really great place to be able to provide hands-on skills to our high schools. In that 11th grade activity, so in our kits and curriculum that get delivered into pretty much 11th grade across the region, we also have articulation agreements and provide credit, early college credit or dual enrollment credit, but it's not truly dual enrollment. It's credit by exam for our Biology 131 class. So the first class in our certificate program, the teachers that get the kits and teach the curriculum, the biotechnology or medical interventions courses, their students can sit for credit for Biology 131 through credit by exam. This is really great. It provides opportunities for students to earn college credit, but then also for them to realize what college credit really is early on. And I know dual enrollment has been a really important part of the community college philosophy across the nation. And so this is one of those spaces that we've done traditionally and done it. We have a strong program in this side. In addition to this, In addition to this, we are creating two sets of activities that happen after 11th grade into 12th grade and our dual enrollment program, and then this bridge. So we're really kind of creating this next steps, and Rising 12th grade experience is part of this. So after they've really learned kind of those basic skills in 11th grade, they've potentially earned college credit by sitting for the exam. Then what do they get that summer between their 11th and 12th grade year? So that's going to be what we call Science Bridge. We've done this traditionally in different ways. We've done it either at the college campus or at the high school campus, but we're really focusing here on a Science Bridge activity that happens at our local high school, because for recruitment purposes, we really want to spend time influencing that our feeder schools. And this is going to include everything from supply chain and documentation, aseptic technique, media and preparation, column setup. So really kind of the next step of just what did you do with your hands and how were you trained, but can you create materials and supplies and utilize that information for making products. And so that's going to happen this summer in June in a 5-day format with 20 hours training. So we're really excited about that. The nice thing about this also provides the opportunity for the high school students that have already gone through the biotech programs at our local schools for another additional activity that relates them and connects them to the industry and potentially to our program. After 11th grade year into 12th grade year is a second set of early college credit opportunities for high schoolers. They can take the Biology 132 at our specific local high school. They offer a Biotech 3-4 class that's very similar in content. We've collaborated very heavily with that high school teacher to make sure that they're comfortable enough and have exactly what we want in terms of content and knowledge for the students in that class. So those students actually can sit for an exam, and we do two pieces to that exam. The first one we've traditionally done the base exam, which is an industry recognized certification exam. We used to do it in person. They did it. They're moving it all to online. So we're still using actually the base as that industry standard of what they want technicians to understand from a philosophical and didactic perspective. So we'll be using the base exam for that. But we will also be implementing, and we've done this in the past, a hands-on exam here at Miramar College. So those high school students sitting in Biotech 3-4 will come here to Miramar College and take those two exams. And if they pass both, they will earn college credit for Biology 132. Because we know that not all students want that specific experience, we also created dual enrollment opportunities for our 3 feeder high schools, and that includes Mesa, University City, and Canyon Hills that offer biotech in that 11th grade or medical interventions in that 11th grade. Their seniors can actually dual enroll in our evening courses. We hold seats in Biology 132 and 133. So as seniors, they'll finish their certificate if they're interested, and they have the credit by exam. They'll have completed Bio 131, 132, and 133 before their senior year is over. With the intention to create really active activities to think about onboarding here at Miramar as well in the future. And so how do we create the next step of that pathway? So we've gone all the way through all this hatched coloring. We're through 12th grade dual enrollment credit by exam. And now what are we doing to intentionally recruit students to Miramar College in continuing that methodology? So the first one we're going to do is we are leveraging other grant funds, and we are going to be providing students the opportunity to come to Miramar College to take Biology 132 in the summer between their senior year and their first college year. So Biology 132 is that middle course of our certificate program. Some students don't want to take it during their high school years. They have extracurriculars. They have other opportunities to have fun in high school, but they're really looking for a lab-based activity to kind of connect them to the high school, to the college setting. So these are those options for the bridging high schools students to Miramar College. So 132 will provide that in a hands-on setting. Biology 136 will do that with an online opportunity to take the quality and regulatory practices class in biotechnology. And then we also offer a 2-week training course called Supply Chain Experience. It's 50 hours. It's unpaid. We call it a pre-internship. It's highly successful. Our college now supports this one internally through GFU. And it's providing essentially kind of a week of onboarding activities, if you might say. What do you want to do with your life? Career exploration. We bring in career services. We bring in our counselors and education with a STEM counselor, our educational counselors to talk about education plans and how to create those. So that's the mentorship part of the activities that we're proposing here. And then there's a 4 or 5 day, depending on how we schedule this each time. There's 5 days of in-lab training, but more intentionally to create supplies for our activities that happen downstream from that. So either kits, curriculum, or classes that happen. So they're actually starting that supply chain experience of materials. But we also consider those the supply chain of students that are going through either our program or maybe looking for internships downstream. And so we're excited about the utilization of these 3 opportunities for bridging students to Miramar College. Those are our credit opportunities. We also have we collaborate with, actually, he's across the hall from me, our STEM Exito grant that is offered here at Miramar College had some really awesome experiences in the past 2 summers. And so we're going to collaborate with them for non-credit opportunities. And this is what they did last summer, which was highly successful. Kim was supportive, and so was Shawn, supportive in these activities. So in collaboration this summer, we'll also provide opportunities for and really talk about these opportunities as we go out to the high schools about a summer bridge 3-day program. That might be abridged, meaning it might get a little smaller. Students don't necessarily want to come for 3 days in the summer if they don't have to. So it might look like a 1-day activity, but they'll again meet with the STEM counselor. If they don't want a credit class, they're not available during the classes that we're providing. This is the secondary opportunity that happens later in the summer. And then we also started boost camps, which were basic skill building classes. They weren't even classes, they were non-credit opportunities that were intentional to help students that were either going into biology classes, chemistry classes, or math classes. So we're partnering with the STEM Exito program this summer to hopefully really solidify the non-credit opportunities through our NSF as well. Phew, that gets us through our grant funding at the moment, at least the proposed activities for this year. One thing we didn't quite mention, but that we'll definitely be discussing in the future, and Kim kind of mentioned it in the Biotech Outreach Day that we're going to be offering in a week and a day, is that when students come to Miramar College, we also provide some of our funding for work-based learning activities. So we hire students specifically to our kit outreach activities, preparation of materials for our classes. And we're really particularly looking for students, even though we make it open access and lots of students apply, we are often looking for students that have come through our pipeline to make sure we're giving them intentional activities along the way. And that is kind of the capstone of if they've taken our programming, they've gone through any one of these spaces. We're really trying to make sure right now, like Kim mentioned, we have 3 of our NANCE employees that are current, have come through our feeder schools. So we're really proud of the fact that we're, lifting up this pipeline and making sure that students can continue to have opportunities downstream. And then we're always trying to see how we can connect to the next stage. So that includes the Bachelor of Science programs. Miracosta here locally has a biomanufacturing program. We often have students that enter that program from our internal biotechnology program with some additional classes. And we just actually had them out to speak to our group this past week. And so we're excited about continuing to make sure that students understand that there's lots of different pipelines that they can pursue, and then also what the 4-year programming looks like. So we provide those opportunities through other grant funds as well. So I think that gets us where we need to be. I always like to bring up this slide, which is my last one. I'll just mention. I think it's really important to talk to students, and when we talk to students about the pathways that we can create, and they're not linear. They come from lots of different places. We have a lot of current four-year bounce backs and that come to the community college program to get hands-on skills. And so we're excited about making sure that they get the trained skills that they need. But also being conscious of the fact that not always are we training lab scientists, but we're creating experiences for students to understand science. And that may come out in a different way in their careers. It could be in policy, criminal justice, healthcare, industry, academia, law, journalism. So this is really important to make sure that we're messaging often, early and often, how science actually connects to lots of different types of industries and careers downstream. So, yeah, I have that right here, Linnea. There you go. What can you do with a biotech degree or a biology degree, and what can you do with your skills? So this is important to consider the types of jobs and opportunities that come downstream. So yeah, absolutely. And I'll just thank you for your time, and then we'll take questions when we get there.
Lots of questions.
Thank you, Rebecca, Shawn, and Kim. And again, thank you to both of our presenters. We'll now open up the floor for questions for either team. And also, if you added comments or questions in the chat, please feel free to come off mute and share them directly.
Well, I have too many questions, so who else has questions besides me? And number one, are you guys going to high tech? Any of you?
I believe I'm going. We're working on that right now.
Okay. Anyone else interested?
I'm planning on going.
Good. Okay. Well, we're going to have a pre-conference, a mini summer fellows biotech. We want you all to come. Well, before I ask a whole bunch of questions, go for it, Michael, because I have too many.
Really both presentations, like the diversity of the approaches is incredible. Wonderful. I put my question in the chat for Shawn related to the biotech awareness curriculum program. What is it? Like, did you make it yourself? And then specifically, how do high school teachers access it? Do you get it to them through Canvas or Google Classroom or just, yeah, curious about that.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Thanks for asking, Michael. Kim and I developed the curriculum together. We also used what was pre-existing. Kim had taken some of the content from, I believe it was Baybeck. Is that right, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we supplemented with some specific accountability activities. So we're looking to implement with teacher training, where we can have them come in, provide them the ins and outs, how they access it, what they're looking to accomplish, and then how they can get their stipend for their participation by the end. And Kim and I, again, developed a few of these end marker activities where the students are basically going to research career paths, do a presentation, and then kind of report back to their teachers, and then they note that and track that themselves. I think we are looking to implement through Canvas as well. So we've kind of got that all lined up as well, and we're eager to get that training underway. But yeah, it's looking good.
And Michael, yeah, definitely we've connected to some of the materials that Baybeck has provided, and so we're based on our earlier conversations, that's something that we, in addition to a lot of Innovate Bio activities and curriculum that are out there, so we're kind of connecting those two pieces along with some local. We have a really great group of high school teachers here through Miramar College activities. And so they've actually done a little bit of vetting of some of the materials as well. So on our side. So that's also, and provided some as well.
Awesome. I just wanted to say, so one thing that we're doing at Innovate Bio with the high school pathway hub is trying to figure out ways to connect the type of teachers that you're talking about who are engaged and wanting to do that with other teachers. And in particular, other teachers would love to look at this awareness curriculum program. And so I'd love to reach out to you to try and connect with the high school teachers to see if we can kind of make Innovate Bio be kind of the center for that communication and conversation. So I'll reach to you guys out offline. But this is awesome.
Love
Really
it.
great work. Yeah.
And one of our, yeah, no problem. And one of our activities that's coming up is that we're wrapping into some of the work we're doing, not specifically here, but as a community of practice with all those high school teachers. So there's going to be
Cool.
a great way to collaborate, align curriculum, have conversations, and we're happy to figure out a way to collaborate more nationally, even though we're doing it
Cool.
regionally.
Thank you.
Emily, you have a question?
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you guys, for presenting. My question is directed at Jacqueline. How do you foster that internship relationship, like, no, industrial relationship to get internships for your students? Like, that's a very rare piece, and that's so cool.
Yeah, thanks for the question. And before I answer, piggybacking on the other one, I wanted to shout out Bayback as well. In our summer camp, we do a couple of Bayback activities with the kids. So yeah, thanks. And so we, and Mike, you can chime in too, because we've been on, I think we've been on almost every industry visit together since the beginning. So our strategy to begin with was just to find as many of the companies that were in our area as possible and just cold called some of them and asked for a tour and just to meet to discuss what they did, what products they made, what workforce needs they had. And so from that, I guess my view is that we were kind of lucky that a lot of our companies already had summer internships in place. We have one company that'll even take 16-year-olds for internships and so, or assistantships. And so just piggybacking off of that, and then recent conversations in our partnership meetings with them, because what we set up with our core 6 or 7 companies were quarterly partnership meetings where we address things like internships and sponsorships and donations and just looking at ways for them to engage with our program as well. And so it was uh, the relationship that started first, and then they are invested in our program through the belt and all that is how I think this relationship started. And then they seem more open to creating other internship opportunities outside of the summer as well. Mike, did you have anything to add to that, to Emily's
No,
question?
no, we've done a lot of work with I was going to say a lot of we have this non-credit micro-credential of which right now we're working on making sure that the students can have an externship or shadowing opportunity and at the end can hopefully get maybe a job interview. The next thing that we'll probably be working on really hard is formal internships so that, okay, the students will have choices. Here's your 6 or 7 companies and and they will then be able to seek out their internships and our core group has been very excited and will be excited to intern them because a lot of what you hear them say is, I want to see them on the floor before I think about hiring them. So they like the concept of internships because they get to see them in action before they actually have to think about hiring them. So the internship seems to be a really good way for a lot of companies to get a look at people before they make a final investment, you might say.
Yeah, and to me, once we start getting students out in internships, I'm sure that plan and what that landscape looks like will possibly be modified as we go. But the built team, those are our core industry members, and they're all on board with what we're doing, which is just amazing. So it's the relationships, yeah. And we've gone out to these companies, been on site, we've invited them to be part of like the Biotech Day Tuesday, and really worked on um, engaging them and having them see that ROI for being engaged with us. So,
Linnea, you have a question?
Yeah, I was curious about the certification that you prepare your students for. Did your industry indicate they wanted that certification?
I think that's for
Is
Rebecca.
that for us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. Uh, um, Meaning the certification,
And
the
the
base,
QA.
the
Yeah, the
QA.
QA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we built that as part of our curriculum, we started running it in 2018 or 2019. We took that essentially that CQIA, and because it was so inherent skill set wise in a lot of the jobs that were being offered, we took that information to our advisory board and said, would this align with what the expectations are for the this particular certification and what the industry needs? And they said, absolutely, this is exactly what we're looking for. And we teach all that content quality wise. And it is so cool to, I actually teach the class, so cool to listen to students in the discussion forums and communicate with them and collaborate with them on work product and what does it look like, because they realize that there is an alternative way to work in the industry that isn't lab based, and that's a really important part of the skill sets that students need and opportunities along the way. We just had an intern go through one of our programs that ended up in a QC QA role and is loving it. So that's it. It definitely came from our advisory board, and then is really definitely something we talk about every time with our advisory board along the way.
Would you mind, not that you have to tell us the names of individuals, but would you mind sharing the companies
Absolutely.
that are on your advisory board? Because, things like this are really worthwhile then to disseminate to others. And
Sure. No
I know
problem.
that's something that the California programs do is provide curriculum materials that lead to certifications like that. So I think that's really
Absolutely.
good. Thank you.
And we have one more hand up, Karat. Excuse me if I mispronounced your name.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. It's Gaurav. That's fine. Yeah, so my question is for both Jacqueline and Rebecca. So, first of all, congratulations for a good presentation. It was a good one. So, my question is like, if we have to get an awareness among the high school teachers for the biopharma industry in the area where there's not much of presence of biopharma, what approach or what ways can we do that? So,
I'm just clarifying, there's not a lot of industry in biopharma where you are, but
yeah,
you want exposure to that field so that students know that that's an educational path for them. Is that
it's an
right?
educational path for them, and that's an opportunity for them in the longer run.
Yeah, I think that our 2 week supply chain activities really but would be really beneficial for that. It's quick and easy. Students essentially, and Ying Su does this at Baybeck. I know that this is not a novel concept, but it's definitely providing the students the opportunity to learn how to create materials, do batch records, documentation, and understand how to make a product and quality check it. And all of those are important in the kind of manufacturing side of materials.
Mhm.
And that would be, but it's also providing the hands-on skills that are transferable across all of these different industries that we provide. That would just be my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would
And
piggyback on that. Our all of our curriculum with the biotech classes is based on SOPs and work instruction documents and batch records. So they'll get that from the very beginning, even though we're heavy biomanufacturing and not necessarily as heavy on biopharma, but they'll get that training. Um, in all the classes that we have. But I'm thinking about other ways that you could bring a biopharm, like from a 2 week, a short-term training type of thing or opportunity, or uh, boot camp or something like that as well.
Yeah, we are trying to get the high school educators and teachers motivated. So that's a reason. I just want to get the opinions of experts. That's a yep. Thanks for that.
What state are you in?
Louisiana.
Because there might be an in with the state education department and what their CTE curriculum is like to integrate that with teachers at the high school as well.
Okay. Thanks a lot for that input. Mhm.
I'd like to take this time. Oh, I'm sorry. You can see you. I didn't.
Yeah, I know we're past time, but I just wanted to
That's
put a
okay.
shout out. If you look at BABEC's curriculum, babec.org, we have a really simple one for high schools. It's called Making Alginate Pearls, and it uses its introduction to batch records. It's a fun exercise. Students are making little pearls with lactase, and then they break down lactose, milk. And it's a super fun exercise to just get the students started thinking about how to use the batch records. And if you want to learn more about supply chain, we have, we have a workshop coming up in June. So email me and we can I can get you connected for that.
Sure. Thanks a lot. That's a really good one. I will connect you offline.
Okay.
And
you.
check out the Innovate Bio event page because we do have a lot of activities. And remember,
Sure.
membership is free.
Yes, I am already a member for.
Oh, good. You know me. I
Yeah.
can't help myself since I'm the PI of the center.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know you from Nimble also.
Right.
Mhm.
I would like to take this time to thank our presenters today. This was a wonderful presentation. Both of them were very informative, and I thank you all for being so engaging. As a reminder, Austin Community College is closed next week for spring break, but we will post the recordings for both of these presentations on the Innovate Bio website, hopefully after spring break, but you never know, it might get posted sooner. So again, thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of our presenters, and we wish you all a wonderful Friday and spring break.
Yeah. And come to high tech.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.